Hi, folks. Thanks for tuning in to Aspirant CCG's Hearthstone League. We are in week 6 out of 7 right now. We have two great matchups coming up. First off, my name's Anna Jane G, and I'm joined here by Kazgar.
How's it going, Anna? How are you tonight?
Doing pretty well. I got my first win this week, so
Nice.
I felt good.
It's always good to just kind of get that monkey off your back for sure.
Oh, wait, no, I didn't even play this week. I got my first win last week. Wow. So I might have 2 wins by the end of this week. So I don't know.
There you go.
We'll see when we play. Definitely got to get those games in before Monday, though, because do you have that patch that is coming out Monday? A couple Paladin cards and Shaman cards got buffed, and there were a couple nerfs as well.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see a lot of those cards coming into play tonight too. So I think this will be a last gasp of this meta, which I think some players are excited about. Even because I think even metas that are okay, people just tend to get tired of. So I'm excited to see some changes. But I'm also excited to see the players give one last go round with these cards.
Yeah, for sure. All of our players have been really impressive over the past few weeks, and bringing some really interesting decks and really showcasing like a lot of what this meta has to offer. So if you're just joining us and you're new, this is a 7-week league where we're split into 4 divisions, playing 7 rounds of round robin. And then the 8th week, we are cutting to a playoff bracket. So we have 2 matches that have some pretty deep playoff implications coming up tonight. Our first match is going to be Aviously versus Billsnyder HS from our Division 1. Aviously is 4-1, and Billsnyder is 3-2. It's a 2nd versus 3rd place in that division. So, if Avios wins this match, he'll be able to pull up to a really comfortable 2nd place.
Yeah, I do think a win here would almost guarantee him a playoff spot, if not fully, especially with that wild card spot as well. So, because after the top 2 get their cut from each division, there are 4 wild card spots as well. So the top 4 best overall ranked players who have not made the playoff cut will have a play-in round as well. So I think with a win tonight, Aviously definitely comes very, very close to locking it up, if not mathematically assuring it. And Billsnyder is far from out of it. He's fighting for his playoff spot as well. So definitely some pretty big implications going into that last week.
Right, and considering how the match plays out, we do have some tiebreakers, and if Bill wins, might actually pass Aviously in the tiebreaker game too. So there's a lot at stake in this matchup. You mentioned that top 2. Division 1 is weird. There's 2 divisions that have 10 players, so those divisions have top 3 going to the playoffs.
You're right. That was my mistake.
So that does make things feel a little more secure for Aviously. Although 6 of the 10 players are 3-2 or better, so there's going to be a lot of hot competition in Division 1.
Yeah, I feel like most of the divisions this season especially have been just really neck and neck competition wise. I feel like it's been a really cool season to watch it unfold, as almost every division has several players fighting for just 2 spots that all still have a shot this late in the season, which is really fun to watch unfold. So excited to see that play out here.
And we do have our schedules are announced at the beginning of the season. So our first place in Division 1 is Cookie Monster at 5-0. So the only undefeated player in the division, and they're playing against Aviously next week. So if Cookie Monster happens to pick up a loss and Aviously wins, Aviously could steal first place and lock up a bye for the playoffs. So I wanted to throw that out there as well. For Division 3, we're going to be watching a match between Ace103 and Matias, both of which are at 3-2 and are at 2nd and 3rd place in that division as well.
Yep, and that's another division that we see with a pretty tight race overall. That's actually my division. So I think I play Matias next week, if I'm remembering correctly. And I played Ace early, I definitely have played Ace. He's a great player. Didn't really make any mistakes that I called out, and his record backs that up. And Matias is clearly holding his own as well. And like the first one, there's just a ton of playoff implications. And even not even just the final round with tiebreakers and everything, even the game score within the match can affect who moves on and who will see their season come to an end after next week. So it's an interesting thing in the tiebreakers is people trying to pick up, if losing 3-2 is definitely better than losing 3-1 for your chances to advance this late in the season too.
Oh yeah, like we don't have any undefeated players in Division 3. We have German Shep is in the lead at 4-1, and Dragon Rider is in fourth place at 3-2 as well. Only 2 game wins behind Ace for tiebreakers. And what's really interesting here is that Matias has 12 wins and 9 game losses, whereas Ace is 13 and 11. So if Matias wins this, Matias most likely, would also get better tiebreakers than Ace for, in case week 7 pans out and they're still tied. Like, that would pull him ahead as well. So there's a lot of really interesting implications here.
Yeah, and I'm curious how that might affect queue order as well. Just because, in maybe a more standard conquest tournament rather than a league or a series, it doesn't necessarily matter the order you get in, but if game losses and game wins matter in tiebreaker situations when they're so close, maybe you try to queue in a different way to at least secure an extra game win if you're down 3-1 or if you're down 2-1, maybe that affects how you queue. I know that is factored into my queuing decisions, and I'm sure it will on these players. So I'm interested to see if we'll be able to glean any clear queue order decisions based on that.
Yeah, if there's anything that's something that I haven't even considered, honestly, because like I've said before this is my first time ever playing this format. So one of the things that really struck me as something that, was a lot more skill than I would have imagined was like picking your lineup and picking your queue order for the matchup. Something that I definitely need some more practice on. So it's going to be really interesting to see how our players tonight queue up their decks. Speaking of which, we can take a look at the decks for Aviously versus Billsnyder. And we did see. We also, I mean, we should point out that Alder Attendant's one of the cards that got buffed, or kind of changed, not necessarily buffed. It got dropped down to 1 mana, and it's a 1/3, right?
Yeah, but I do that drop from 2 to 1 mana is historically a huge difference. I think the difference in mana cost tends to get smaller as you go up to a point. Like the difference between 8 and 9 is huge, but the difference between 1 and 2 is also massive because being able to play it a whole turn earlier in the early game when tempo arguably matters the most, I think could really give Paladin a buff. So maybe Billsnyder is he's just practicing for next week.
Even though deck lists were submitted before this was announced, but
he sees the future. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, we see there's no 1-drops here, so it's kind of interesting to know how that would change.
Yeah. And then the priest list looks mostly pretty standard to me. I think it looks like he cut a Fate Weaver. If I'm not mistaken, I think 2 is the standard for Galakron Priest. But it looks like he cut one to add in that Harrison Jones for the second anti-weapon tech. So he's got
nice, yeah.
the early ooze if maybe a Demon Hunter can get down an Umbra Wing. And then he still has the Harrison to answer a potential Warglaves later in the game. So he's really trying to deny Demon Hunters their strongest some of their strongest cards.
Right. That also plays versus Warrior too.
Sure.
And we already talked about the big Demon Hunter. So I think we should be ready to go to the matchups. Or Aviously's list. My fault. So like I said, we banned Warrior as well. There's really interesting, you mentioned before, that there's only playing 1 Serpent Egg, which is I thought was weird, but something we're not really going to be seeing.
Right, yeah. It's like, there are things we could say, but
yeah,
I'm not going to see it either.
Right.
It's hard. I want to talk about all the decks.
So we have looks like Dragon Hunter, Zulok, and a Tempo Demon Hunter. Anything stick out to you about these decks? Anything interesting?
He definitely looks. So one, I love the choice of Dragon Hunter over Face Hunter. In a conquest format, especially in one where people have sort of started to shift towards bringing priests to try to beat Warrior, because I think Dragon Hunter does gain a little bit of an edge over Face Hunter in that matchup and performs slightly better in the Hunter mirrors. So I'd really like the choice for Dragon Hunter. I'm not sold on which trap package is better. He's gone for the 1 explosive, 1 snake, so he can get a little bit of board development there. But I love that choice. And then I just noticed the Warlock choice looks like a list that is more focused on board control. It's not running the standard, I guess the more standard now, charge package of the Wolf Riders and the 2/1 charging Murloc, opting instead to bring in a Faceless Corruptor, a Gorfine, and some Serpent Eggs to really just dominate the board throughout the game. What about you? Anything stand out to you from here?
Really, haven't really played a lot of the Z Warlock. Haven't seen Magic Carpet in months. So when I saw that card, I was like, oh, okay, this is definitely something different. And the Demon Hunter looks pretty standard to me. Don't see anything that really sticks out. It's pretty low curve. Doesn't play any of the high end stuff. The Priestess and the Imprisoned Antian. So definitely, just trying to get people dead with that, I think.
Yeah, I think he definitely is teching that for the mirror a little bit with the Frozen Shadow Weavers, the Devil Eye Beam, which is something that people have experimented with cutting, and only 1 Warglaive. So I think this lineup also very much looks like a Ban Warrior, and everything is pretty teched for the Demon Hunter matchup. It looks like, which is a deck that's also, I feel like, a little too powerful to hard target, but you definitely know it's going to be there. So building your deck with that in mind is definitely the right play.
Right, yeah. All of our players brought Demon Hunter as well this week, but like we said, everyone banned Warrior, so we're going to be seeing 4 Demon Hunters. So I think we're ready to show the match. And yeah, for those who just joined us, I'm managing MTG, and Kazgar is with us as well. And we're just starting our first match, which is Aviously versus Billsnyder.
Looks like we're going to see that big Demon Hunter versus the Dragon Hunter from Aviously. So I gotta say, I'm not sure how this matchup plays out. I'm inclined to think that the Dragon Hunter can get under the Demon Hunter before its big threats can come down, but we'll have to see how it goes. I'm not super familiar with the big Demon Hunter list, so I'm excited to see some big dumb minions hit the board.
Yeah, always love seeing that.
But it's at the I think it was an article about Magic describing the 3 types of players, and one of them was like the Timmy who just likes to slam the big things down. I play competitively, so I'm more of the competitive type, but I definitely have the inner Timmy of just I love slamming big things on the board and making them do big stuff. So I'm excited to see that come through here.
Definitely. So we're gonna see Bill's just going to hero power and attack for 1. We have Aviously on the coin, drawing a tracking for the turn. And looks like we're going to get a Scavenger's Ingenuity, drawing a Stone Tusk Boar, going to make it a 4/4, and that's another card that is getting nerfed. It's going to be down to a 2/2 bonus.
Yeah, I think that makes little sense. A 1 mana 4/4 charger is pretty nuts. Man, these players are playing fast. I'm intrigued. I probably would have expected the coin Phase Stalker there, but his thought must have been with only 1 Phase Stalker in deck and 2 Stone Tusk Boars, he wanted to play the Scavenger's Ingenuity when he could make it more likely to draw the board, because that's the minion you really want to buff.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, so we do see Blazing Battle Mage, and then the 4/4 Boar come down and attack for 4, bringing Billsnyder to 26. So an overconfident Orc the draw for Billsnyder.
Definitely debating between that. I think I probably like that play. He needs some way to slow the aggression.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that also clears board. I couldn't quite see what that card was in the hand, but yeah, that was a better play.
Thought it was a Chaos Strike as well, I think.
Yep, better play.
That'll definitely do it. That's one of the things that EGC is with this big Demon Hunter list is going to play out a little differently than the tempo list that we've been seeing a lot of.
Yeah, this is a tough choice off of tracking, I think, because he already has 1 of each of those cards in his hand, so it's really a matter of which one does he think he wants to use more than 1. And I think the Corrosive Breath was probably correct there. It's just so good against decks that try to slow you down with taunts and other things to get through their taunts while also putting a little bit of extra face damage. Because like you're probably not going to use 2 Phase Stalkers really. I don't think the traps are going to be that impactful in this matchup.
Right. Like we know that they're only playing Explosive and Snake Trap.
Right. And I think the things are going to be too big from the Demon Hunter to really care about your snakes or taking 2 damage.
Right. So we're going to see a Wrathspike Brute come down for Billsnyder.
Yep, and then just cleanly answered there.
Attack for 5. Bring Billsnyder to 18. Draws a second Priestess of Fury. You're going to see a Shadow Weaver. Freeze that Rottenness Drake. Going to Demon Claw down the Fairy Dragon. And it looks like that's going to be it for Billsnyder.
Oh, and the kill command off the top.
Oh my god. Yeah.
This is a lot of damage coming very fast.
Right. Leave Billsnyder at 7 and just dead to this. Dead to a lot of stuff here.
Yeah, he's pretty sure he has to clear the board, because if he leaves the Phase Stalker up, Aviously is going to get that 5 damage kill command to guarantee the lethal. Yeah, I think that was a scoop with some rapid play from both players. Yeah. Really just some of the fastest turns I've seen. I feel like I'm watching Casey, the Grandmaster, who's just famous for how quickly he plays. And yeah, I don't know if that's an intentional thing. Obviously, I'm not sure about either one of their habits. I'm wondering if that's if one of them just plays fast habitually and the other one sort of subconsciously kind of felt the pressure. That's another sort of mind game that players can play with each other. But it was fun to cast.
Yeah, sure. And congrats on Billsnyder for picking up that win with Dragon Hunter.
I think that was Aviously that got the win there.
Oh, that's right. Wait. Yeah, it was Aviously. Our graphic is
it looks like okay. The deck's all right. Sorry about that, viewers. Switch the names in your head. So we have Aviously up 1-0 after getting the win with his Hunter over
Yeah.
Billsnyder's Demon Hunter.
Apologize for that, folks. Yeah, anything else stick out to you about that matchup? Like, it was really fast.
It was hard to say. I think I think just the aggression of the Dragon Hunter, it's just such a fast list that can get on the board so quickly, and that I think the Rotnesh Drake turn was really the point that put the nail in the coffin for Bill. I think if he had to do less of a tempo swing, Billsnyder might have been able to get some threats online, but Rotnesh Drake is just such a powerful card, and it's one of the reasons I like Dragon Hunter, because Face Hunter just doesn't have an answer like that. A big guy that can hit you in the face for 6 while killing one of your minions is just huge.
Yeah, like if he would have had to attack into the Raspike, he probably loses most of his board there.
Right.
Yeah. Completely changing the whole tempo of the game. So ready for our next match, I believe. We have Aviously with Zulok versus the Pure Paladin for Billsnyder. And we have just a handful of 1-drops for Aviously to start.
That makes sense. I think that's actually the Priest instead of the Paladin.
My bad.
I get that hero I get that hero portrait mixed up like every time too. That the 1000 win Anduin looks just like a Paladin to me. So
it does
every single time.
My apologies, folks.
You'll see Aviously full mulligan his hand, and that's because in this Zulok, it's an aggro deck, but you play it almost like a combo deck in that you exclusively want Scrap Imp. That's just how you go off, and the fact that he doesn't have it on 2 already, I feel like drops his chances to win this game by a lot so early. It's a deck that relies exactly on having Scrap Imp on 2 to win. With a pretty thick hand. Oh, 1 turn late, but still pretty good. So that'll still be solid, but so you want a mulligan for that pretty exclusively as the Zoo player.
Yeah, and we're going to see that he's going to hold back that Shieldbreaker to wait for, or the Shield Bearer to wait for the Scrap Imp Viper, I presume, to be able to give it a pump.
See, this is something I was worried about, the Shadow Madness coming down. You got to be... I also often forget the Shadow Madness now costs 3 mana, but now Billsnyder does have the double 4-drop rush that Aviously wanted. But he does get to get the 6, I can't remember the name of that card. The draw 3 for the Scrap Imp.
Yeah, Hand of Gul'dan.
Ah, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah.
We were discussing before this how I'm terrible at card names.
Yeah, that's a really good synergy. Definitely very powerful. We have a Mind Flayer Karj here going to just target that Nightshade Matron. And Swampu's coming down, just trying to get some board presence here for Bill. The Scrap Imp is going to go off, give all the minions in hand for Aviously +2/+2, and with 3 1-drops, that's really impressive. And then
that's a lot of
Soulfire
stats for 3 mana, and then the Soulfire removal refill. That was a huge turn.
That was busted.
And that is Scrap Imp, folks. And he's got if this board does get cleared, he does have another Scrap Imp as well to keep the pressure on. And I don't see a clean full clear from Billsnyder here.
No, we do have a Soul Mirror, but that doesn't come out until... Is that a... Wait.
Oh, here's the clear. The Breath of the Infinite. He keeps keeps 2 minions up, but does get his own 5 rusher. So pretty close, but now I'm thinking we're going to see Aviously just reload with the Imp and save these cards to put on another wave.
You're going to see the Serpentine come down, though. Kind of helps insulate against the Sweeper, I think.
Sure, I think I would have liked the hold there, because it's not like it's going to get any damage in yet, and I think the hold maybe gives it just makes it a little more threatening, and then you play it on a turn when you have a bunch of other minions as well, so you get the death rattle a little better. But he might have a macro on that, I'm not sure, right? Like individual plays like that, you never know the context in the player's head, so all we can do is guess.
Right. We are going to see a heal on that 5-1, 5-2, and then Pennant's going to take out both of these minions for Aviously, gaining 6 health for Billsnyder, and then the matron that was healed takes out the serpent. So maybe it was better to hold the serpent.
Yeah, I wonder if he's gonna hold here. Yeah, I like that with the magic carpet and all the buffed 1-drops. Gonna let him get some board presence back.
Yeah, that's gonna definitely setting up for a really powerful turn next turn. Shield of Galakron coming down for Billsnyder. Going to get some taunt out there. I'm gonna lesser heal on the matron, and we're gonna pass and see that scrap imp go off.
Yeah,
5 buffed minions in the hand.
Getting 2 scrap imps back to back really sets up for some powerful turns from Warlock, but I think he might have some bad news with the Soul Mirror. A decent amount of these are gonna take damage from their counterparts, but they also, it's not gonna be a huge clear because a lot of them also, interesting, you kind of didn't want to see that buff go to the egg because now the egg dies to its own Soul Mirror. But I think at that point he had to pretend like Soul Mirror didn't exist because I'm not sure he ever beat it if it was there.
We have a Disciple of Galakron. We have a greetings. After that Soul Mirror, nice. Love to see some good emote action.
Yeah.
I think that's a Natalie Celine. Got off of the
yep.
Off of the Invoke. Just a pretty nice card. Being able to take out any minion. Just an easy 2-for-1.
Yeah, definitely a big card. Although Zulak runs a pretty light minion package, so I think he's gonna see. He might just use that to take out maybe the magic carpet or something for just the biggest things they have. So that's a huge pickup. Not that there are any 1-drops, but just getting some more big threats on the board is, I think, really big to keep Aviously in the game.
Right. We did see a Holy Nova the draw for Bill, which is going to let him clear, combined with the other Breath of the Infinite.
I couldn't remember. I was going to help you out, and I was searching. For it and just didn't have it.
Yeah. But instead, we're going to see Nightshade Matron come down out of the hand for Billsnyder, discarding that Natalie and attacking, and then the Holy Nova cleaning up the rest of the board. So we do get rid of the magic carpet instead here.
Yeah, I think that's probably fine. I mean, really, this game feels like Bill's game to lose at this point. He's just his health total is pretty healthy, especially noting that Aviously isn't running the charge package, which I think was adopted to help them close out games like this. But
right, and we see the Apotheosis in his hand as well, which is going to gain a lot of that health back when that comes down.
I'm honestly not sure I don't just Apotheosis hit face here.
Right. Well, drawing Time Rip, I mean, does let you
that changes it a bit
see what
sure.
you get first. You might get something that changes your mind off of the Time Rip.
This is the safer play overall.
Yeah, we do see the Apotheosis attacking the Terran, bringing Bill up to 22, and then Aviously.
Yep, had to soup it there.
Drawing 2 1-drops and skipping it up. Like they ain't doing anything on turn 10.
Not at all. No, Zoo does not. If you deal with both scrap imp boards from Zoo, I think Zoo's just kind of like, well, you got me. That was it.
Right. We don't see anything like in Zoo list from last season where they played Rafam to be able to kind of like give them a sort of late game.
Sure. And give those casters some pretty fun moments to shout about.
Oh yeah. That stuff's always fun. Yeah, I mean, I kind of like sum that game up pretty well. Trying to find scrap imps. We saw both Hand of Gul'dan's, like being able to refill the hand, and combining that with scrap imps for some really huge turns. But the priest deck was able to find enough sweepers and wipe the board and be able to what's the word to make
Withstand? There's so many words that could go
to
here.
stabilize. That's the word I'm thinking of.
There
To
you go.
stabilize, yeah. So congrats on Bill for tying that up. And we're ready for the next game, I think.
Yep.
And we have a Demon Hunter mirror with Aviously on the tempo version, and Bill with the big Demon Hunter.
This, I think, has the potential to be kind of a cool matchup
Mhm.
because the Demon Hunter is, I mean, it's obviously a fast aggro-y deck, but it's not nearly as fast as the Dragon Hunter. So I think Bill will have a little more time to get his stuff online, and he's also got a 2, 3, 4, 5 in hand too, so he's got a little bit of a curve this time.
Right. So Battlefiend, first draw for Aviously, or the first play, passing to Bill on the coin.
I think Bill, obviously Bill deciding whether to coin the Umberwing.
Right.
I think I like this better because you don't have a follow-up on 2 that doesn't float a mana.
Yeah, you're just using your mana efficiently here and being able to save your coin. We do see an Umberwing from Aviously. And that attack bringing Bill down to 26. Umberwing gonna come down. Gonna take out that Battlefiend. Go down to 24, draw the Gladebound for turn. Looks like gonna take out the Imps. Leaving one left over for Aviously, and freezing Bill. Freezing face, overcompetent orc the play for Bill.
Oof, that's a whiff.
Another Gladebound, yeah.
Gonna have some pretty clunky turns coming up, I think, because he can't even really. I think we might see a tempo Gladebound next turn just to get something on the board without the battle cry.
Right. I mean, all depends on what Aviously draws. So we have a Command the Illidari, the draw, I believe, for Bill there. Oh no, that's the Raspite group. My bad.
Gonna go ahead and clear off that, and he's yep, there's
nice.
something that Aviously can do, but I think Aviously is probably aware that he's gonna see a Priestess this turn. Or at least scared of it with after that Fell Screamer coming down, just the sort of the standard combo of Demon Hunter these days.
Yeah, that's what we do see. So we see the board cleared up for Aviously, and now draw another Overseer. Instead deciding to just cast the Skull here.
I kind of think I like this play because it seems like I think he's going to need an Altruist to come back into this game. So just digging into his deck for some answers.
Yeah, and that's what we saw. That's a really heads-up play, I think, from Aviously. It's something like, I don't know if I would have done that, because facing so much pressure and you're not affecting the board at all.
Oh, that is a clunker for Altruist, though.
Oh my god.
I think, is that it? No, he can do this Hero Power I-Beam to kill the Priestess and keep himself alive on board.
Okay, and we are going to see that, I believe. It's going to bring Aviously up to 11. Unfortunately, we are recording. These are pre-recorded, and we have a card in the way.
Still alive. That is something he can do with Altruist with those 0 mana cards behind it. Is that enough?
I think he's at 1.
Okay,
should have gone up to 11, and then the 6 damage from the Priestess, 4 damage from the attack. He is at 1. So I'm drawing a couple Battle Mages here, but not really gonna be able to do anything, and concedes.
Yeah, he drew a pretty clunky hand, I think, that turn. I think that was a bit of a rough draw for Aviously there, and gave Bill time to get his big dumb idiots, slam him on the board.
Yeah, from like just having the, going into turn 5 where your hand is Skull Skull, Glaybound, and you're like, well, crap. Like if I don't draw anything that's relevant, I'm just gonna have to play this vanilla 6/4. Like that. We saw.
And knowing your opponent played the Fell Screamer to set up for the potential Priestess. And if not Priestess, there were plenty of other big guys in that deck that could benefit from the mana discount. Which I think I highlighted Priestess is I think a lot of players have been cutting Priestess in their Demon Hunter list in tournaments. In theory, for the mirror match. I mean, I'm just a guy casting, but I think I disagree with that because Priestess is just often game winning in the mirror. It's so hard for your opponent to kill it. Demon Hunter just doesn't run the tools to efficiently deal with the 6/7 that clears its board every turn.
Right.
And I think that game just kind of demonstrated why Priestess is getting nerfed, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to go down to a 6/5, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if it were a 6/5, we would have been able to kill it with that metamorphosis, and then be able to high beam the 4/2, and definitely saved some damage that way. So we have a second win for Billsnyder, with only Pure Paladin left to go, and Aviously has Zootlock and Tempo Demon Hunter, which we've seen both of. So I wonder which one would you bring against the Paladin here?
I think going. I think I'd probably bring Demon Hunter just because. I think going back to the Q order thing, I would want the deck that doesn't necessarily need to draw the one card.
Right.
I think
Okay.
Demon Hunter is just. I think if you were to play one game, I think Demon Hunter is probably better. So that's what I would maybe be thinking, but that also might be kind of defeatist. Like, no, I don't need to do that. I'm going to win both games, so I'll bring whatever.
All right, so let's see what Aviously brought, and they brought Paladin, or Bill. My bad.
Both on the Paladin, yeah.
Oh right, yeah. Aviously brought Demon Hunter, like you were saying. My bad.
Oof, that is a very slow hand from
Very
Bill.
funky, yeah.
He does have the 8 health heal already, which is I have no clue how you mulligan that deck, but I imagine that's something that you consider keeping sometimes.
Right. I mean, if you get both of your Aldor attendants and like your Truth Seekers, you might be able to cast it.
Recently. Yeah.
But we see that the cheapest draw in that opening hand was the Amber Watcher. Oh, I thought you were talking about the Libram.
No, yeah.
Oh
no, you're the Amber Watcher. They do both heal 8.
Yeah.
No, the 5-cost dragon. I mean, I don't know. I think with the hand he had, I don't think he keeps it, but maybe sometimes with some stuff. But he got his Vital 2 drop down too, which is you want that.
Which, like we mentioned before, is going to be a 1-drop after starting on Monday.
So I think they'll mulligan even harder for it at that point.
Right?
I think that might be the card that just, if you don't have it, ditch your whole hand to get it.
Mm-hmm. Basically the Scrap Imp of Paladin.
Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe hopefully slightly less game determining.
Right. So, all right, here. So we have Aviously coining into Kane Sunfury, letting him play that frenzied thing.
That Fellwing, I think.
Yeah, my brain completely died here. Fellwing, yeah, that sounds right.
That's
being able to play that for Frey, and then.
Yeah, I like the Spectral Sight draw here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not like you were just never. It was almost never going to get casted if you had to wait all the turns needed to get that extra draw.
Right.
A really clean value trade as well. But I liked the previous trade that Bill did where he bumped his 1/1 into Kane to set up for the true Silver Clear. I think that was a good example of thinking a turn ahead.
Yeah, totally didn't even see that until now. But yeah, that's a really heads up play for Bill, being able to, kind of play out what the next couple turns are going to look like. We have a Borg Leaves here off the top for Aviously, going to take down that. Wow. take down that Truth Seeker. But we see the Libram getting the cost discounted by 3, being able to heal 8 and make an 8/8 taunt for Billsnyder.
Oof, and Aviously can
Wow.
clear it, but he's gotta take 8 to the face to do it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, and Paladin doesn't have a ton of damage from hand, so I think
Right.
12 is a reasonably safe life total at this point in the game as well, and he just has to get pressure on.
Mm-hmm. So
Because he
decide
also
not to attack with that Warglaives.
I think I probably like it. It's tough. I think I would have swung just reading the game at a point where I needed to just put in as much damage as soon as possible, because I think the longer this game goes on, the better it looks for Bill. He just has too much late game stuff and too much healing.
Right. Well, we just saw him play Lady Leandrin, being able to get that Libram of Hope back, and that's a 6 mana heal 8, make an 8/8 taunt Divine Shield. Like, just able to do that again next turn and go back to 30.
Yeah, that's a lot. I gotta say, I'm impressed with the Paladin deck this game, and a tough turn here for Aviously, I think. And I think maybe he didn't swing last turn to potentially set up for some sort of nope, he didn't play Altruist. I was thinking maybe that was it. I like this, just going face, kind of forcing him to heal. He knows he has to heal, but I think this, if you can limit your opponent's options.
Right. We are going to see that. So after taking 15 damage on Aviously's turn, decides to heal 8, go up to 16, and we're going to attack down that minion from Aviously.
I think he has what he needs to clear the 8/8 without taking any face damage this turn, which I'm sure he's very happy about.
Right, because you do have the 5 damage from Metamorphosis.
Right, he's actually 1 off, so he's gonna have to.
Oh no!
Oh, that feels bad.
That hurts.
So yeah. The True Silver guy, I think we'll see that in hand. Gonna end it.
Yeah, Lightforge Zealot gonna make a True Silver. The True Silver weapon and gonna attack and kill Aviously. Wow, that was a really impressive outing from Billsnyder's Paladin.
Yeah, I was up here talking about, man, I don't know, banned Warrior. That Paladin doesn't seem to be like a beat Warrior, and oh no, it can summon 2 8/8s with Divine Shield and Taunt on almost back-to-back turns. So some pretty powerful turns there.
Yeah, and even like looking at that hand you started with, having like a 5, 7, and 9 drop, like you're like, what do we do? But we saw the Labyrinth of Wisdom come down, being able to discount the Labyrinth of Hope, and then the 5 on turn 5 Elder Truth Seeker, discounting it, bringing it down to 6, and then being able to play it on turn 6, bring it back on turn 7 with Lady Leandrin, and then being able to play it again on turn 8 was just absurd.
Yeah, no deck that relies on doing damage to your opponent to win is ever getting through that. I don't think so. Right. So really well played from both players. Actually, I think there were some pretty difficult decision points that were navigated overall very well. So it's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun to see.
Congrats to Billsnyder for moving up to 4-2, and with the tiebreakers, definitely passing Aviously. So moving into a nice second place so far in Division 1. So congrats.
Yeah. And doing it with some definitely off meta decks, which is always cool to see. I feel like it's very easy to sit down and just think the meta solved, everyone's playing the same thing. So I love seeing players come in with sort of their own stuff that's a little bit off the wall and doing well with it.
Yeah, so before we go into our next match, I do want to make a couple quick announcements here. First off, the Badass Women of Hearthstone are going to be hosting another standalone tournament in the next couple of weeks. I don't have specific details, but if you follow them on Twitter at I'm going to actually type that in the chat so y'all can see it. It's Sorry, Twitter. It's Badass Woman HS on Twitter, and they're going to post more details in the next few days, I presume. I also want to give a shout out to everyone playing in our Venus and Mercury League, sponsored by Aspirant and Swagoi. We've just started season 2. We had our first week. We were broadcasting last night. And for the next 7 weeks, there's going to be some great Magic Arena play on our Aspirant channel at Friday at 7 Central. So make sure you tune in. There's going to be for the next few weeks, there's going to be basically a doubleheader: Friday night Magic, Saturday night Hearthstone. So, be a great thing to check out. I was watching the stream last night. Had some really, really fun games of Magic. The stream was great. Yeah. So
yeah, I gotta say,
check that out.
Team Magic is just next level good. They've been really fun. So I only play Hearthstone, so I've been on the Hearthstone side for a couple of seasons now, and I think our Hearthstone production side really bumped up when we added the Magic production side and got that level of expertise to come help us out. So definitely make sure to tune that in. It's a really high quality production.
Yeah, I casted a bunch for the Magic season last year, and it's kind of got that bug, and I kind of wanted to make sure that we got everything straightened out to be able to do the weekly thing this year too. So I'm really excited, and definitely check that out if you are into Magic, because there's some great players. It's the same kind of format too. 7 weeks, 4 divisions, playing round robin and cutting to an 8-week playoff. So we have our next match. We have Ace103 versus Matias. We mentioned it before. That was at a Division 3 matchup. And should be able to go to the deck soon. All right, great. We have Matias here, and like we said in the beginning, all of our players ban Warrior. So, this deck looks really standard to me. There's nothing that really sticks out in this Warrior deck, and it was banned. So I don't really want to go into too much about that deck. It's something that is kind of being beaten into the ground, right?
Yeah, it's just
it's,
as we talked about, it's just super good. Almost everyone's gonna bring it because even if you don't really want to play it, I brought it to tournaments before I had really played with it that much, because it's a very skill intensive deck. I think it's hard to play well consistently. And so before I even really had practice with it, I was bringing it to tournaments just because people would ban it, so I got to play the decks I was good at.
Nice. That's some next level.
It's just it's a really strong deck, and really Matias, I think, is just sticking with tried and true for pretty much all of his lists here. Nothing really sticks out. Going for the 4 secret package and the secret rogue, which I think people have decided is the minimum number of secrets you can run while still getting the benefits off of Shadow Jeweler Hanar and Blackjack Stunner. He went for 2 ambushes over 2 dirty tricks, which I think is kind of the only debate left. 1 faceless. Double Boom Pistol Bully is, I think, a pretty noteworthy tech that is going to try to disrupt a turn 5 or 6 Glavebound Adept, or maybe on coin it can disrupt the Screamer from Demon Hunter. Yeah,
I remember. I remember 2 weeks ago, the last time I casted, someone brought Boom Pistol Bullies, and it was pretty impressive. Jeez. This Demon Hunter list looks almost the same to the old one. I think the beaming sidekicks are different. I don't think we saw those in Aviously's tempo list.
No, I think he added those. I mean, I don't have the exact list memorized to see what he cut, but added beaming sidekicks. Again, another tech for the mirror and the increasingly common face hunter that you see. It just allowed your 1-drops to trade, especially if you can have a 1-drop and then coin beaming sidekick. It's especially huge on Battle Fiend because that can just snowball so quickly, and when it has 4 health, it's just really tough to kill.
Yeah, that's kind of busted.
Yeah, so I like that inclusion a lot if you are teching for the mirror.
Right. The other change they have is, I think they cut a Spectral Sight for a second Warglaves.
Yeah. Yep, that is it. And I think that's sort of another flex spot too. You have some players debating because you want to draw one Warglaves, but you rarely want to see the second Warglaves as Demon Hunter. I think especially in the mirror, just because then you're taking way too much face damage. So it's the debate: do you run two so that you have a better chance of drawing one of them? So I think obviously he thinks it's worth it. So we'll see. I mean, it's a great card, so you'll see it once at least.
Interesting though, like the spectral sight helps you dig for that one Warglaves, having the second spectral sight.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting trade-off. Not really sure what's better, but we'll be able to see that. See if that two Warglaves makes any kind of impact. And we have a Dragon Hunter deck here, which is honestly looks really similar to the last one. The only difference I see is the trap package is just 2 explosive traps. We don't have a split between explosive and snake.
Yeah, and that's almost a coin flip. Just prioritizing a little bit of extra damage to the face directly versus minions that maybe can get removed. But I've sang my praises of Dragon Hunter in the last series. I won't bother repeating myself. But some standard good decks.
Okay. Great, and then we have Ace's lineup, which, again, Warrior is banned. So we have Zulok again, and then we have another Tempo Demon Hunter. Now we have Face Hunter, opting to go with the more lower to the ground, more aggressive. That is Dragon synergy based deck.
Yep, again, overall, I think they're all fairly standard decks. The notable differences from the other stuff we've seen, the Zoo is playing the charge package, or at least one charge minion. Or, sorry, two charge minions, 2 of each, so a Stone Tusk Boar and a Blue Goat Warrior. If there's a buff from Scrap Imp, it can definitely help it close out the game a little bit faster, drawing damage from hand, or just having it. Only one I-Beam in the Demon Hunter list.
Right, 2 Warglaves this time, no copies of Spectral Sight.
Right, and then, like you said, the Face Hunter, I feel like the Face Hunter list is a list that everyone has kind of tested and said, yep, this is the best 30, it's good, run it.
Oh, this they're playing Beaming Sidekick as well in a Demon Hunter.
Yep. Yeah, both players definitely coming in with a strategy of banning Warrior, getting ready for the Demon Hunters and Hunters they're going to face.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of stuff that we've seen before today. I mean, the only new deck that we haven't seen in this lineup is the Face Hunter. So should be a really interesting matchup, and might have a couple games that go really fast, like that first game. So
it might be in and out pretty quick tonight, everyone.
Yeah, we'll see. We don't know what happened before, so.
Right, yeah. No, it should be good. I'm interested in the series. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I said that this is all news to us. Like, we don't know what.
I was thinking, I think the Rogue from Matias might be in a little trouble. These decks are all really fast and push a lot of damage. Rogue doesn't have any healing, and he is notably not running the package that we've seen sort of make the rounds recently with the double Frozen Shadow Weaver in Rogue to slow down some aggression. So I think that could be a weak point in the lineup. On the other hand, I think that Matias bringing Dragon Hunter will a little bit give him the edge, I think, in the Hunter and Warlock matches. I think he has a little bit more control tools. So, and obviously draws and play is going to make a huge difference as well.
Okay, great. I think we're ready to start watching some Hearthstone. And we see Matias's Dragon Hunter is going to be facing off against Zulok for Ace. So we don't see that Scrap Imp here.
I was about to say, I'm going to predict we'll see a full mall. I think you have plenty of 1-drops. You're going to draw 1-drops if you don't draw Scrap Imp. So, and especially these 1-drops are not ones you want to just play on one.
Right.
On the other side, though, I think Matias has a 1-2 going first.
Yeah. So we're going to see the Murloc and the Boar. We're going to see the charge stuff go back for Ace. Going a Voidwalker and a Soulfire. Matias drawing a Stormhammer for turn, going to play Blazing Battle Mage. Ace coining into the scrap imp that just drew for the turn. Fantastic, right on time.
That's all you needed.
Yeah.
I'm interested in the beaming sidekick keep. I guess he wanted it to go along with Magic Carpet to make it a little harder to kill. Is my thought there, but
yeah. Interesting.
And,
We have to see Ace gets to hero power, drawing another card, drawing another creature minion. That's gonna get too much magic for me, right? Drawing another minion that's gonna get buffed by this scrap imp. We have a second battle mage and a hero power going to pull one of those explosive traps out for Matias. So we know Ace. Ace knows that it's explosive trap, right? Because those are the only secrets in Matias's deck.
Right. Yep.
So he's able to just take out the Face Stalker with the 3/3 Stone Tusk Boar and then pass back.
Yeah, and that's a pretty big board to deal with. I think he pretty much has to, do the double trade.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see the boar into the scrap imp to set it up to die for explosive, or he's gonna leave the 2/2 up and force the trade there. I'm not sure. That could go either way.
Force him to play around explosive because he knows it's there. So the boar is gonna take out the battle mage, explosive trap, gonna clean up the rest of the Voidwalker, gonna bring the other minions down to 3/1s, magic carpet, and then forget the name of that thing.
Fiendish something or other.
Fiendish servant, right? I've seen that minion a lot in Battlegrounds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pretty scary board that Matias
right.
I think I would have liked trading the battle mage and maybe playing the boar there, because then the imp wouldn't go through and you would have had the 3/8, the 3/2, and the 5/3 versus the extra 3/1.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm not sure he's not just going to have to play the boar anyway, because I don't think this is a matchup where Dragon Hunter, especially if they have the imp, you're probably not going to win a race, so you're sort of forced into that control role.
Yeah.
Which is tough because it's not what the deck is built to do. But right. I think that's a decision that might end up having a pretty big impact over the course of the game.
Yeah, I feel like he's debating whether to use that. Use the sharpshooter or to, I guess, instead going to play the Primordial Explorer and discover a dragon. And these don't seem like great picks. They're all pretty expensive. We do seem to take
going for the race here.
Yeah, interesting.
Well, that's a great draw.
Yeah, jeez.
That's pretty good. And the Fiendish Servant gonna go ahead and get the clean trade here.
Right.
Oof.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Matias, you really want that to hit the other Fiendish, the expired merchant, but yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, the zoo had the scrap imp to some extent.
On turn 1.
Yeah, on turn one was scrap imp.
Like just killing Dragon Hunter on turn 5. That is.
Yeah. It's just part of the reason why the card's getting nerfed. You know, it does feel a little uninteractive when games are decided by do they have scrap imp, which that game wasn't fully, but it helped a lot. I think.
Right. And we saw how. I'm sorry, that was cutting out a bit.
Oh, I just having the scrap imp and being able to vomit that many stats for that little mana on board is crazy. Yeah,
and one of the things, just for that nerf to point out, we saw that basically the line of defense there for Dragon Hunter was that explosive trap, and with the nerf, those minions would have all been 3/2s. So they all would have died to that explosive trap instead of leaving a couple 3/1s behind. So that really would have changed the that matchup if Scrap It was only +2/+1.
Yeah, absolutely. I think good nerf, Blizzard. That would
Congratulations.
we'll see, I guess, but great job.
Yeah. Great. All right. So Ace is up 1 match, and Ace is going to bring their Face Hunter versus Matias's Tempo Demon Hunter.
Yep, and this is a pretty close matchup. I think people generally like Face Hunter's chances here.
Mm-hmm. We see Ace is going to be on going first this time, keeping an Imprisoned Felmaw and a Blazing Battle Mage.
Yep, I like that. Imprisoned Felmaw was just everyone. I feel like everyone underrated that card, but it's so good in decks to try to hit you in the face.
Yeah, first time I played against that card was like this week, and I what?
Super good.
I was like, I play my thing. I'm like, please attack my minion, and then attack my face, and then I die. And I'm like, no. So we're just gonna see a Blazing Battle Mage for Ace, gonna pass, and Matias on the coin deciding what to do here. He drew a second Twin Slice, so we're able to take out this Battle Mage for sure if we want to.
Yeah, I mean, he does have both Twin Slices. I think I'd probably do it just to get the board presence.
Right, and then we're gonna see 1 Twin Slice and a second slice going to take out the Battle Mage and a Battle Mage of his own. It's kind of like stealing the tempo back for this matchup.
Yeah, no, I think that was the right play. And then we're gonna see having 2 consecutive Felmaws is like a little slow in an aggro mirror, but then you get 2 5/4s that might hit face, which by that point Face Hunter doesn't even care about board anyway. They just want to be putting stuff to the dome.
Right. So we're just going to see a Demon Claws and a Beaming Sidekick for Matias. Going to bring Ace down to 27. Ace going to play the second Felmaw and pass back. Another Beaming Sidekick, the draw.
I am not sure. I think we do. I think I want to see the Sidekick come down to reduce the chances that Felmaw goes face.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna buff the Battle Mage, bring it to a 2/6. So if it does hit the Battle Mage, it's gonna survive.
Yeah, just getting over that breakpoint. That's just like an aware heads up play, I think.
All right, it's the attack for 4. It's gonna come out and it's going face.
Not what you want to see.
No, and then Toxic Reinforcements, the draw. Jeez, you're gonna see that, and then a Hero Power. To bring Matias to 21. Matias draws a Cast Strike.
Yep. This is a play I was thinking we were going to see, and I was just over here silently hoping, like, remember to attack first. Don't play the adept too early.
No. But we do see second slice, getting that 1 attack power from Matias, being able to attack Ace and get that Glade Bound to take out the Imprisoned Felmaw. So this Felmaw is going to take out a Sidekick. But we're going to see Unleash the Hounds and then a Steady Shot.
Yep, and so it looks like we've reached a point in the game where Face Hunter doesn't care about the board, which is very early.
Yeah. The I-Beam the draw is interesting.
Yeah, I think I would have liked to see I-Beam before the Chaos Strike there.
Right.
That was maybe a mild
kind
missequence.
of like bury that behind the Glade Bound now. And now we see the I-Beam coming down anyway.
I think the argument there is he had the mana to play the I-Beam for full cost and wasn't really going to do anything with the extra 2 mana, and it gave him information that he might be able to use. Right,
and that turn's going to bring Ace down to 10. Which, at this point, I think Face Hunter has to start caring about the board.
Got to care a little bit here, which is if you're trading on turn 6 though as the Face Hunter, you're just not feeling like you're in a good spot. But
Dragon Bane could change the texture of this matchup though. Having that Dragon Bane in hand.
Yeah, I'm happy to see. I feel like there was a period when people were first starting with the Face Hunter, where they weren't putting Dragon Bane in the deck, and then everyone kind of remembered how good Dragon Bane is at dealing 5 extra damage and having a soft taunt.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we'll almost certainly just see that come down next turn.
Skull drawing into Metamorphose Battle Mage, and is that an I-Beam?
Looks like a
No,
Spectral
Sight.
Sight.
Yeah.
But getting ever closer to that second I-Beam, which is huge in the matchup. Or is he only running 1 I-Beam?
I believe so.
Okay.
Wait, we're playing against. No, yeah, he's running 2.
Okay, one of them was running only 1, and I could not remember. Right. Thank you for double checking that for me. I think I want to see him go face here.
Yeah.
I think face. I mean, there are no taunts, so he can save the slice for the for next turn if he wants it.
And we are going to see go face. Ace rolls tracking. We're going to play the Dragonbane. We see a couple Leopard Gnomes trade off into the Battle Mage. And then a steady shot. Oh, God. And now, all of a sudden, Matias is at 5. And going to go to 3 after this attack. So
that's game, though, right? He's got the Metamorphosis and Slice.
Mm-hmm.
Take it off. Whew.
Wow. Man. Yeah, what a close game here.
I love games like that. I really enjoy aggro mirrors. I like playing it because I'm just like on the edge of my seat, like one of us is gonna die in 2 turns.
I enjoy playing them a lot, but I don't feel like I play enough. Like, I don't think I play enough Hearthstone to really be like good enough at them, so I always lose. I was like, where did I go wrong?
They are like really, really hard matchups to navigate, because when you're in that because one of you is always the control deck in the matchup, but your deck isn't made to do that. So and then at some point as a control deck, you usually have to figure out, okay, well, I just have to hope they don't have it and fly by the seat of your pants a little bit.
Yeah, and sometimes it pivots. Sometimes you realize that, hey, I think I'm the slower deck here. Like, I think I'm half a turn behind, but then, all of a sudden you're like, well, hey, like, I think actually I have to close this game out. Like, now I'm actually the aggro deck. You sort of flip that. And we saw that, there was a point in that game where we had Matias at 19 and Ace was at 10. It was like, well, crap, I think we have to take out that 6-4. Like, but then we saw how close it got down to the end.
Yeah, just like I said, they're just so tense. I feel like I think people like to say that aggro decks are a little easier, and I think in mirrors really highlight how much the little decisions can matter, especially early in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly like playing aggro mirrors more than I like playing aggro against like control.
Yeah.
Then it's like, do they have it or do they not? Like,
right. Yeah.
If aggro matchups, at least it feels like there's like a lot more like intricate counterplay.
Yeah, depends on the mood I'm in. Sometimes I don't want to think, and I just want to play against control and just throw stuff and see what happens.
Yeah. Well, in my experience, they always have it. So
true.
I don't like to play it.
But when I'm control, I never have it. I don't know what's up.
Oh, geez.
Blizzard, help me out here.
Why don't we ever queue into each other? Probably because I'm bronze. All right, so we're tied up now after that win by Matias, and we have Matias has Galcon Rogue and Dragon Hunter left. Ace has Tempo Demon Hunter, and Face Hunter. So we'll see if Matias says to bring Rogue. We'll see, because those are 2 pretty fast matchups.
Yeah, I think if I'm Matias, I save Rogue for last just to try to get the wins for the game wins for the tiebreaker.
Yeah, so we got Matias bringing Dragon Hunter and Ace bringing back Face Hunter. Ace is on the coin here, throwing everything back.
Yeah, that was I didn't even see what he threw so fast. So he's confident.
I just saw the tracking. That's it.
Matias taking a little more time with his mulligan, clearly just deciding which thing he wants to play on 2.
Either that or he's just giving us time to process it because he knows this is being recorded.
Oh yeah. If
Yeah.
that's the case, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for slowing it down a little bit so we can talk.
Yeah. Announcement to players: we want you to slow down.
Also, announcement to players: please don't hover over cards so we can talk about them. All right. So we're gonna draw one of those two explosive traps, which you don't like to see.
No, they're really really rough. And I mean, he definitely kept the face stalker to get that down, so especially hurts there. But
do want to shout out Matias is definitely the chat favorite here.
I didn't. Does he have a following going on?
Yeah.
All right, I love it.
So chat's definitely rooting for Matias here too. So chat's gotta hate to see that explosive trap. But we do see that Felma come down for Ace off the coin, and then Felma coming down for Matias as well.
Yeah, I like the coin Felmaw from Ace because you know that the other player is also having it, and getting that first Felmaw while the other one is still dormant is huge because it means it's not going to trade into the 5/4 you're going to get.
Right. This
most likely a much better trade from it.
Greater chance you'll be able to go face too, and with this explosive trap. And this is going to trigger the trap, right?
It should.
Okay. Yeah. So that was a pretty heads-up play for Matias to be able to clear out those battle mages because you know that thing's going to come.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't give Ace the option to just sit back behind it because Ace knows that it's explosive trap.
Yeah, that was really a really heads-up play, just knowing the interactions. Because before you asked me, I was like 100% confident that that's what was going to happen, and then of course you asked, and I was like, So well done for Matias, and then gets to play this 5/4 that can't be targeted on an empty board. So if Ace wants that to be dealt with, he's going to have to sink some minions into it.
Right. So we do see Face Stalker going to bring a secret out for Ace. And Ace has just 2 explosive traps as well.
Yes.
Right. Because it's Face Hunter.
Sure.
Yeah.
We have seen some play the pack tactics, but I think the lists have streamlined a little bit, and they've decided that they'll want more damage more than they want a 3/3 minion.
Yeah.
This is a tough play. I wonder if we're going to see... I think if we see the hero power, it means that Matias has decided that he has to maybe take this to a race. Okay, so he's going to trade off, which makes sense. I was maybe thinking if we try to tracking to see what we get, but there's probably nothing he would really play with that extra mana, so the hero power is probably better.
So we have a Sand Troop with a draw for Ace. I'm going to see the Eagle Horn Bow, bring Matias down to 12, and play the Sand Trooper. And pass back for Matias, draws a Dwarven Sharpshooter. So with so many cheap cards in his hand, Matias has so many options here.
Yeah, but
Stone Tusk Boar tracking and the second Face Stalker.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go too wide because he knows that Ace is playing double Unleash, and and I think he's sort of feeling like he's at the point where he can maybe squeeze out the win, and Unleash is probably what takes it away from him. So I think he's going to try to keep his board pretty tight.
Yeah, so Face Stalker gonna get that explosive trap out, gonna attack for 8, bringing Ace down to 11, and just pass. Gonna hold back on those 2 Stone Tusk Spores. Explosive trap's gonna take out that Sand Trooper. Gonna deal 3 to Matias and 2 to Ace. They're both at 9. And Unleash, Kill Command. And
I'll do it.
He's gonna do it. Well played by Ace, I think. Well played by Matias too. Like, I don't want to take that away. Ace has kind of had it, but I think Matias, felt a little bit behind being the Dragon Hunter deck, but played really well to try to recognize. It's kind of actually played into what we were talking about right before the match about how aggro bearers can like pan out, where you have to realize when you're behind and when you have to like turn that corner and just like start racing your opponent. Like you can't be the control deck anymore because you're just going to lose.
Yeah, definitely. I think Matias recognized that moment and said, "If he has it, I'm dead." And he had to make him have it, which is sometimes just the play in card games. And I think Ace also did really well because I think one thing, that, especially with Face Hunter, that is just so singular in its game plan. Like some aggro decks can kind of adjust and be a little more mid rangey, but Face Hunter is just so all in on one thing from turn one that you have to really be meticulously kind of counting the damage in your deck and what you're going to draw. And I think Ace, I think if we were to go back and sort of look at every play at a much slower pace, we would see that I think he did do that. Like I was sort of keeping track in my head, and I think that Ace did a really good job of playing to his outs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think he just had the Unleash and Kill command the entire game up until that point. So, like, he just had that. Didn't even have to, like, play any outs, right?
Actually, in my mind, he had the Unleash later, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway,
I'll review that.
Yeah. Whatever. Ace is up 2-1 now. So Ace has Tempo Demon Hunter. And for Matias, I mean, I imagine you're just going to bring Dragon Hunter. Try to even it up with the faster deck, and then
I would think so, yeah.
Try to get lucky with Galcon Rogue in game 5.
Yeah. I mean, and Galcon, I feel like we're talking about it like it's a done deal. Like, there's a reason people keep bringing the deck to tournaments like Grandmaster. It is a good deck. It's just not on the level of Warrior or Demon Hunter, and is a little bit weak to some of the faster aggro decks.
Right. And we've seen how fast Tempo Demon Hunter can come out the gates.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So, yep, we are going to see the Dragon Hunter for Matias.
His choice of 1-drops for Ace here.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you're ever throwing back that Battle Fiend.
No. And then over on Matias' side, the mulligan also looking fairly straightforward, probably keeping the 1 and the 2.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we get a second sharpshooter for Matias and a battle mage, and Ace just gets a Sigil Runner back.
That always feels so bad, even for such like a small thing. You're just like, oh, come on.
Right. But Twin Slice off the top is really good combined with that Battle Fiend being able to make that a 2/2 on turn 1.
Yeah, definitely something to consider. I think he might be debating if he wants to Twin Slice Sigil Runner, or I guess he'd have to burn the second slice as well.
Yeah.
To go ahead and get that draw, because if he doesn't, it might be, well, he can just Battle Mage Sigil Runner next turn to get the draw.
Right, I think that's what I was thinking. And
we'll see. Maybe some connectivity issues on turn 1. That
a blunder, yeah.
A bit of a blunder there.
Oh no, hate to see that.
Yeah, especially in this deck, in this matchup where tempo matters. If he's playing Galakron Priest, that's probably fine. But that might be a big deal, which you never want to see games decided by things like that. But there's a lot of Hearthstone left to play. Really like the double coin, the coin double 1-drop there to sort of take advantage of what just happened.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, gonna go ahead and knock out the sharpshooter to make him trade the battle mage in.
Mm-hmm. Wait. Okay. All right, so we have a Felma on turn 2 for Matias. And then a Shadow Weaver, the draw for Ace. Could put a Battlefield and get that Sigil Runner. And that is what we're going to see. See Hero Power. Gonna Matias down to 29. The Battlefield at 2/2. And pass it back. We have a Dwarven Sharpshooter, and that's going to be able to steady shot down the Battlefield. Another Battlefield off the top. For the Shadow Weaver, we're going to freeze face here.
Yeah, I think he kind of has to. I think he sort of had to play that because the Shadow Weaver trades so nicely into the Felmaw. So he has the 50-50 to clear the 5/4, which is also I think why he traded the 2/1.
No,
Doesn't win.
or I mean, yeah.
Has every Felmaw tonight gone face?
No, one of them went. One of them didn't.
One traded. Okay.
It didn't trade. I think it killed a battle mage. I think.
Okay.
Something like that. I don't remember.
Oof, and there's the downside to playing the 4/3 is how efficiently it gets cleared by that corrosive breath.
Yeah. Oof. So the Satyr Overseer, the play for Ace.
Gonna get some rewards off that attack. And the Satyr Overseer is definitely something that needs to be dealt with. So Ace is hoping that it'll incentivize the Felmaw trade. And just kind of going a little more all in here makes sense with the Skull of Gul'dan on the left as well.
Right, but the second Corrosive Breath is going to take out that Overseer very cleanly, and combined with the Hero Power and the Felmaw attack is going to bring Ace down to a very precarious 8 life. So we see a Skull drawing an I-Beam, which is very nice.
Yeah, it's what you want to see if you're an Ace fan for sure. You absolutely needed that I-Beam to hit there.
Yeah, so I-Beam's going to combine with the Satyr to take out the Felmaw. Another Satyr Overseer is going to come down. Battlefiend's going to attack, going to bring down another free Frenzied Fellwing. We have a Phase Stalker, Steady Shot, going to bring that Explosive Trap out, and Ace decides he's seen enough.
Yeah, I think that was just him protecting his time almost. He there wasn't after that board got cleared. I'm not sure how he ever got back, especially with the inevitability that the hero power from Hunter can add to a game.
All right, so Matias ties it up, and we're going to do game 5. So we're gonna have Ace on Tempo Demon Hunter and Matias on Galakron Rogue.
Yep, and this is the matchup that we were sort of talking about might be a little weak for Matias, and maybe that's why we see him waiting till he has to bring it. I think if you ask him, he might say he'd rather play Demon Hunter or Dragon Hunter again. But unfortunately, it's Conquest. You gotta get a win with everything. So we'll see how this plays out.
All right, we'll see.
One thing Matias did do is he has the double ambush instead of the double dirty tricks in the secret package, which is a little bit better against Demon Hunter because they just don't have that many spells, and you're not really running out of resources as much as you are against some other decks. So I think that's sort of a small nod.
So we do see Ace on the play here, Matias on the coin, and Ace has a Battle Mage to start off here.
Deciding to play that instead of the Battle Fiend. I'm thinking to probably bait out a Backstab if to test for it if Matias has it, so he doesn't commit the more snowbally minion.
Right. So here we can easily drawing the Sidekick lets us protect the Battle Fiend against Backstab though, which is really nice. So we're able
against Seal Fate as well.
Oh yeah. Right. So we're able to Twin Slice, go face, pump the Battle Fiend, and trade for that Pharaoh Cat, which I believe we got that's the Rush one.
Yeah. Yep.
That's
gonna be
the Warrior Rush one. Yeah.
Yeah.
3/2 Rush Reborn.
Yeah, pretty great card to get in this matchup. Actually, it's almost always going to go 2 for 1.
Yeah. And then just blanked on that card. The Evil Miscreant got 2 copies of. I think that's Faceless Lucky.
It's the one. It's the one that summons the 2-drop. I know that.
That's Faceless Lucky.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm bad at the card names that are like in my collection. The generated cards.
Right. Well, I mean,
that's a pretty big board.
Yeah, the Sightless Watcher. I can't think of what that 2/3 is.
Oh,
Praise Galakron.
Some kind of brute.
Yeah.
I do going back a little bit. I do want to commend Ace for trading into the Miscreant with the Battle Fiend.
just because that protect, he's really doing a great job of playing around Seal Fate, which is one of Rogue's big early game cards to sort of help it survive and pump up its late game.
And it is the card we see in the front of Matias' hand too. So that card is no targets right now.
Yeah, and I think if Ace is doing some hand tracking, he's got to think that is that's either a late game card or a Seal Fate, I feel like. And that might be some caster vision. I'm sure I'm missing some other things it could be, but I feel like in addition to removing targets, he's gotten a lot of information about what that card is.
Right, so we're going to see a ambush come down, one of the two ambushes. Blackjack Stunner going to return that Battle Fiend, which is going to take all those buffs away, which is nice. And then the Goblin Lackey going to rush it and clear the board. But Warglaives from Ace looks like it's going to be able to come back and clear Matias's board.
And playing that second slice there to, I guess, to play around the Bamboozle possibility as a secret. Another heads-up play from Ace. That's just sort of knowing that most minions at that mana cost are going to have under 4 health, and so just spinning that extra card to ensure he kills it if it was Bamboozle.
Interesting, yeah. So we have a Chaos Strike here into a Crimson Citadel Runner.
And the Chaos Strike, at that point when he played the Citadel Runner, he knew that it was going to be ambush.
Right, because it didn't trigger Dirty Tricks.
Right. So therefore,
well, actually, the second slice on the twin slice on the turn before.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
The second slice actually just tested for Dirty Tricks, so he was able to narrow down that it was Bamboozle or that was ambush a turn prior.
Okay. Yep. Good catch.
Yeah.
And a good play to make sure he had enough attack after his Warglaives was up to kill the poisonous minion as well.
So we have a. Is that Aspirant? Or is that no? That's Krunks.
Yep.
Draw for Matias.
I think I'd like to see a Restless Mummy trade one thing and then maybe Shadow Step to kill 2 more and just leave Ace with a 2/1 here.
Okay.
We'll see if he decides to commit the Shadow Step here. I think he has to, just because this board is too. Nope. Decides not to. Okay, his health total is respectable, and these are 2 pretty tiny minions.
So he plays Dirty Tricks out, which we can tell. Well, we know it's not ambush. So for Ace, it's either Bamboozle or Dirty Tricks. So think whether we're going to play the second slice or not. Probably not.
Yeah, I think you. I don't think you want to. Knowing when you know what it is, you don't want to play it till you. Right. So you really have to.
It might be Bamboozle, but there's no reason to give cards, right? You can't test Bamboozle yet. Seal Fate gonna take out this Frenzied Fellwing. Going to get a Lackey. I think that's the Kobold.
Yeah, that's what it looks like from the view there.
Ethereal Lackey. Deciding between these 3 cards: Bamboozle, Dragon's Horde, Togwaggle Scheme.
I think the pick is going to really tell us a lot about where he sees, where Matias sees his position in the game, as well. Because I think if he picks Dragon's Horde, he's a little bit saying, "I have to do a little bit of a Hail Mary here. I've got to find some really powerful legendaries to get myself back in this." Although even if that wasn't where he sees it, I'm not convinced that Bamboozle and Togwaggle Scheme aren't both a little too slow.
Yeah, and he decides to go with the Dragon's Horde. Blackjack Stunner gonna return that Gladebound Adept. Kobold Lackey gonna take out the Satyr, and we're going to Shadow Step the Kobold Lackey. Oh no, that was Togwaggle Scheme, wasn't it?
No, he picked the Dragon's Horde.
Sorry.
Well, that's a draw.
Yeah, Skull of Gul'dan off the top.
Ace taking his time here.
Still unsure about the secret, so this is going to test Bamboozle, so he knows it's Dirty Tricks now.
Yeah. So holding on to it,
because he's fine on resources. Doesn't need to give Matias 2 extra cards.
Ooh, so Aspirant was a draw, but only being at 8 life, not able to use that secret right away. Ooh. Madame Lazul is probably the pick here.
Yeah, it's just something you can play this turn to maybe get some answers, because Demon Hunter has a lot of cheap cards.
Yeah, the Frozen Shadow Weaver is nice.
And gaining all that information about your opponent's hand, right? He now knows a ton about what's going on the other side.
Yeah, he knew about the Battlefield before, right? Because he bounced it.
Yeah.
So, just not sure about the skull, I think.
Yeah, so now the skull is the one he wasn't sure about. This Altruist, I can never say that card right, but I think that it's going to be pretty big with the skull next turn. I think it should be pretty reasonable.
I mean, Ultra second size skull. You just need to hit one card off skull.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I guess it's not going to be the left or rightmost, so I guess maybe not. But still, you have the attack too. But anyway, we have a Shield of Ground Con here, Ethereal Lackey.
I think the Cold Blood, so you can trade in. Yeah. I think Matias is trying to work out how to stay alive here, which is part of the hard part about Rogue is you're naturally forced into a reactive role in the matchup, but eventually Demon Hunter will have the damage to get through.
Well, Wargleaves does it.
Yeah. Like this.
Yeah.
So at some point, as the Rogue, you have to flip it back over and be dealing damage, and he just didn't get that opportunity this turn. The Demon Hunter start was just too powerful, I think.
Yeah. And Matias says he gives up. Which is going to bring Ace up to 4-2 and Matias down to 3-3. So, depending on how German Shep does in first place in Division 3, we might see Ace pass them, because Ace winning is going, if German Shep loses, they're tied for game win. So if German Shep loses, he'll have less than 3 wins added on. So Ace would pass him in tiebreakers and be a solid first place going into the last week for Division 3.
Nice, and that's where you want to be in the last week for sure.
Of course.
So, and do we know if German Shep has played his match this week yet? Obviously, standings haven't been updated, but
I don't know.
I'm sure Ace will be on the edge of his seat, waiting for that to come. It's always kind of fun to be waiting for that, but obviously it's a little more fun in Ace's position where it's not knocking him out of playoff contention if German Shep wins. It just keeps him out of first. Matias, on the other hand, going to be a little bit more nervous about some other results because he might need a little bit of help from other players depending on how next week goes as well.
Right. Yeah, because Matias, Division 3 is a smaller division. Only 2 people are going to make it. Mm-hmm. And have Dragon Rider is also tied at 3-2 going into this week. So depending on how her matchup goes, she might be in a three-way dance here for the first place spot. Although Dragon Rider is behind on game win, so even if Dragon Rider wins, she won't be able to pass Ace in tiebreakers.
Gotcha.
So,
yep, it'll be close.
Yeah,
it's gonna come down to the wire, which is, like I said, it's really fun to see. I like, both as a player and as a spectator caster. It's more fun to see the divisions all with more than 1 or 2 people fighting for a spot, and just everyone kind of having it all on the line in week 7. I think that's what you want to see.
Yeah, like, for the first season of the Magic League, I was tied for the top wildcard spot going into at the end of week 7, and all of our tiebreakers were tied.
Oh my gosh!
So we had to play a playoff for a bye to who got into, who got the second place. Yeah, it was basically the winner got a bye and the loser had to play in the wild card round. I forget because it was like the top of the wild card thing. Mm-hmm. I don't quite remember, but it was pretty tense, and I won. So
nice. So it's great. Yeah, you got to play a little bit of extra Magic early, and then get a bye.
No, it's fun. It'll be fun to see how this shakes out. I'm really looking forward to what we've got coming up next week as well, because I'm sure we're gonna try to pick the matches with the most playoff implications that we can find.
Of course. Actually, I have a whole sheet here that I wrote up with like I don't know if you can see it, but it's got like kind of a lot of like tiebreaker information. I was looking at. I was like, okay, this is all stuff that like is really cool, and I'm not going to talk about all of this, but like it was just cool to go through and do all of like the math. I even like wrote down like the head-to-head pairings if that mattered, because if your game losses and game wins are tied, then it goes down to whoever won head-to-head.
Right.
So
it's round robin, so everyone gets
right.
Everyone gets a head-to-head match with every other person, so that will always be there.
Except for wildcards, because wildcard is between divisions. So if wildcards turn out, we might have one of those playoffs.
Interesting. Yeah. This will be fun. I'm glad I'm not the admin who has to like figure all that stuff out. I just get to come and play and cast. Shout out to Bard for doing a great job this league. Every time I get the opportunity to cast, I take the opportunity to shout him out because he works so tirelessly in the Magic League and the Hearthstone League to give like a great spot to play for amateur competitive Hearthstone players, and it's awesome. And probably doesn't get enough thanks, so I'm gonna take it. Thanks, Roguish Bard. You're awesome.
Yeah, big shout out to Roguish Bard. Also, big shout out to Mr. Gnome, who is doing our production this week behind the scenes. So, it's kind of like the thankless job. We're kind of the face of everything, but it's easy to forget the people who are working behind the scenes. So definitely want to shout out. You wouldn't have been able to do it without him.
Yeah.
And just to mention, if you want more details about our league, you can find it at aspirant.gg, and there should be a link in our bio for that. So we're going to have, like I said, we have week 7 next week, and then we have, I believe, 2 weeks of playoffs, maybe 3. I'm not sure how this is going to plan out, but we'll have 2 or 3 weeks of playoffs afterwards, and then we'll have another season. We'll have our season 5 coming up at some point. So if you join our Discord, you'll be able to get updates on when our season 5 starts. We're also going to be having some standalone tournaments coming up. There's a tournament with the Badass Women of Hearthstone. If you are a clearly, if you're a badass woman who plays Hearthstone, you can join. You're going to be posting more details on their Twitter in the next couple days. It's going to be standalone tournament, conquest format, and their Twitter is in the chat. It's Badass Women HS. So make sure you check that out for more information. And also, just a shout out to our Venus and Mercury League, which is our Magic Arena League with Aspirant and Swagoi. Just started season 2, and for the next 7 weeks, we're going to be having kind of a they'll be playing for the next 7 weeks, and until we're done for the season, we're going to be basically having a double header. Friday night is going to be Magic at 7 Central, and Saturday night is going to be Hearthstone. Or I think the Magic actually starts at 8. The Magic starts an hour later. I think it starts at 9 for me, and Hearthstone starts at 8 for me. Apologize for the timing. I think I had the time wrong when I first talked about it.
Time zones are confusing. I had to double check what time zone this was for sure. So.
Yeah.
But it'll all be in the Discord, and announcements will go up on Twitter as well when stuff's going live. So just make sure to follow us on Twitter, and you'll get the most up-to-date info as it comes out.
Yeah. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I'm Anna Jane MTG, Anna Jane MTG on Twitter. And Kazgar.
I am Kazgar. It's at KazgarHS on Twitter. Thank you guys all for coming. And Anna, thanks for casting with me. It was a blast.
Yeah, it was great. Glad to have had the opportunity to cast with you.
Yep.
And I hope y'all have a great night. Take care. Stay safe out there.
All right. Good night, everyone.